Testing the sound. Testing the sound. Testing the 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 sound. Well, hello and welcome to day 3. It's Thursday, October the 21st. I don't need these headphones, do I? Welcome. I'm glad to have you guys all here with me. And I'd love to get your feedback if the sound is okay. It sounded okay on my end. And as we let some more people funnel into the room, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment down below and let me know whether the sound is good. I think that it is. And you're looking at me now. And if I go to my screen again, I'm showing that it's 3 minutes past the top of the hour here on the Leverage Masterclass. Leverage Masterclass. That's funny. It should be the Leverage WordPress Masterclass. Let's edit that real quick. Give you guys there we go. Give you guys a chance to file in. And I'll just refresh my page down here off screen looking at the comments. Thank you, Linda, Mark. I appreciate you guys letting me know about the sound. Great, sounds good. Really appreciate you guys. And yes, excellent. I'll go ahead and just get my systems ready here. Sorry for the delay as I welcome everyone into the room. Really appreciate you guys being here on day 3 of the 3-day Leverage WordPress Masterclass. It's been quite exciting for me to get in there and answer your questions via email. And on the live stream page, the comment system has been working well. I would encourage you guys to go ahead and read through some of those comments and answers to some of the questions. Yesterday, I was able to go ahead and delve pretty deeply into a few concepts that I'm glad people have brought up. Some things about working with clients and creating websites. A good long answer about pricing websites, which I may go into a little bit today, as well as proposals, quotations, other kind of background tools that we may need and you may need as you go into business. Now, the Leverage WordPress Masterclass has kind of two focuses, or at least two groups, two types of people that are appreciating this content, and my students are kind of divided up. As you probably came from the Udemy course, potentially years ago or maybe recently. But as far as Udemy and WordPress students of mine, many students are wanting to create websites for others, for other business owners, right? And create a business like I have here in Colorado, and making WordPress websites for others, in a client business. And the second type of person might want to leverage WordPress in order to support their own business or their own business ideas. And I've found that a lot of people have been asking me about, how to leverage WordPress for online marketing, digital marketing, or an online business. Maybe you have a business idea, and as a startup, or as somebody who's going to put sweat equity into starting a business, WordPress is the best platform to use. It's an open source piece of software. It's an open source platform around since 2003. Now it has developed into the most popular content management system in the world on the internet today. It powers more than 40% of websites on the internet. It powers a large percentage of e-commerce websites on the internet. And the greatest thing about WordPress is because it's open source, it's supported by thousands and thousands of developers that make stuff for it. And you can leverage their expertise and those pieces of software to support your business, whether it's making websites for clients or whether it's creating websites for your own business. And, by leveraging the tools that others have created, I'm just turning down the volume on the sound a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. I see it was going into the yellow just a little bit. So this microphone picks up a lot of sound. In any case, by leveraging the open source software of WordPress and all the plugins and themes available, we're able to save a lot of money and a lot of effort and even a lot of time, because as far as, if you have an idea about something that you'd like WordPress to do, 99.9% of the time, if you search and look around, someone else has created that functionality already. And you can leverage other plugins, many of which are free. There's in the commercial ecosystem around WordPress and other software, there's a type of commerce called freemium. And it's a combination of the word free and premium. And so you'll find that many theme and plugin companies work off of this freemium model, where you can get the basic level, or you can get some of the functionality of a plugin for free. In the WordPress plugin repository, there's hundreds of thousands of plugins that are highly, highly functional, that are all free, as well as the theme repository. And companies that are supporting those free products need some way to support the business, support the developers that work at that company. And so they offer an extended version or a premium version of that theme or that plugin. And by having that available, and by having some of the customers that use that tool pay some kind of a fee to use that, that supports the development of the premium plugin, but it also supports the development of the free plugin. And that's where, as startup business owners, whether you're making websites for clients or whether you're making websites for your own business, you can leverage that system by starting out for free. And of course, as you may know, my story, is that I started back in 1996 making websites for clients using Adobe Go Live, which developed eventually into Adobe Dreamweaver, which was a codeless web design program. It would make static HTML websites in a visual interface like Photoshop or something like that. And Adobe bought the company called Macromedia, which made Dreamweaver. They also made Adobe Flash or Macromedia Flash at the time, which is now since retired, no longer a viable way of making websites. But I started making websites for clients and then selling the website care and maintenance and hosting plans as well. And I've only had to have, between 10 and 50 websites live at a time that I support to make a good living. In fact, I only worked on it half of the year for most of my years as a website developer, because in the other half, in the wintertime, I taught snowboarding at the Breckenridge ski area for 25 years. My experience in teaching and training instructors, giving them their certifications, enabled me to, I think, develop a good rapport with students and a skill at developing curriculums. And so for me, I've kind of stepped into the web teaching world in a way that's pretty comfortable for me. And I hope that you'll agree, having gone through the Udemy course perhaps, and taken some of my instructional content around WordPress, that I've been able to offer some value to you guys. I really hope so. This Leverage WordPress Masterclass is an example of something that I'm going to be doing on an ongoing basis, month after month, offering free content out to my group of students, numbering almost 100,000 now. And I am also working on building a community and a group where we can even begin to communicate with each other in the future as we move forward. But let me share my screen again, and I'm just going to do a quick review of what we've gone through in the first two parts of this course. One of the things that I want to remind you of is that by leveraging WordPress, one of the things that you'll be able to do, there's a bunch of things that hopefully you'll be able to do after participating in this masterclass. And that is, first of all, sell websites. And of course, sub-selling websites, basically creating viable, modern, future-proof websites. And also, you can create and support website care plans. So one of the things that I do that's really bolstered my business, and it has prevented the need for me to go out and get new clients every single week and try to hustle and sell and find new clients to sell new websites to, is that I've been able to sell hosting and website care plans. One of the things that I'd love for you to be able to walk away and do is to feel comfortable creating websites that you can charge a good amount for. If you read again down in the comments, we had a great discussion about, why would someone pay a business owner, $3,000 for a brochure site? Yesterday or 2 days ago, we talked about the different systems that we can use to create websites without code. And you can imagine that you could take, if you use a system like Divi, you could go ahead and, make a website using a pre-made layout, set that up and customize it with the copy or the text that business needs for each of the pages. And then you could turn around and sell what you've just created for thousands of dollars. Now, the question was, why would someone pay thousands of dollars for a brochure website that someone like you or me could create potentially in an afternoon? Well, it's not the website and the features of that website that we're selling. Really, what we're selling, is the whole. We're not actually selling the drill bit. Does that look like a drill? Is this a Makita drill? Anyway, read that question in the comments. To me, having this realization from some of the mentors that I've been able to follow over the years in digital marketing and creating websites and online business, and even regular physical business. If you go to the hardware store and you're looking for a drill bit, what you're actually buying is holes in a piece of wood. What you don't really care what the color of the drill bit is, what kind of metal it's made of. You don't care what the spin rate of the drill is, whether it's adjustable, whether it can work in reverse, or how long that battery lasts. Really, what you're interested in is that is going to provide the result for you. And so it was a very interesting question, and I put some thought into my answer there. So, one of the things that I'm able to do is, when I first started out, one client for me equaled, no more hosting fee. Basically, it only takes one client for you to have your hosting paid for forevermore for you and all your clients. And so what I did was I was like, well, if I could get a couple clients to pay for websites, then I could go ahead and make my own websites and host them, and I didn't have to pay for hosting anymore. Right? So that was part of my hosting and my website care charges for clients. And bringing me back to those days in the 90s and being an art major and a designer in college, as well as studying English, I came out and wanted to teach snowboarding, which was awesome, but you got to do something in the summertime. But anyway, I'm just fascinated, and I have been since the 90s, that you could go out, and put something out there like a website with pictures and a custom design. And then, that website, once it's hosted out on the internet, that is visible to thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of people out there on the internet. What an amazing thing. WordPress's mission has always been to democratize publishing. Meaning that, at the time when WordPress was developed out of a blogging software, they were trying to enable everyone to be able to create published professional documents, information, like newspapers, magazines. The reason that the new block editor in WordPress 5 and later is called Gutenberg is because that was the printing press way back in the, I don't even want to guess my history. Was that the 1500s? Anyway, when the printing press was invented, that democratized publishing. That allowed people to get their message out to a wider variety of people. The distribution was taken care of much more easily. And so with WordPress democratizing publishing, the community working on the open source software over the years has really turned it from a blogging software to a content management system, a CMS, which is really a way to create websites, to create internet presence for anyone, for a personal project, for a nonprofit to raise money for a cause, for a commercial project to raise and make money for a business, to support arts, to support music. WordPress is far and away the largest platform for publishing, and it's the cheapest too. WordPress.org is our self-hosted WordPress. Even the company the company that has developed out of the open source WordPress project is at WordPress.com. That company is called Automatic. The Matt in Automatic with 2 T's is named after Matt Mullenweg, the co-founder of WordPress back in the early 2000s. And I think I just spit on the lens. So let's get that off there. And so, democratizing publishing. Now, WordPress has democratized website creation. And we talked about 3 types of hosting. There's shared hosting, which is a great place to start out. Although in the hosting world, it's confusing. Hosting reviews and hosting, information about hosting out there on the internet is a corrupted system, unfortunately. Because hosting companies rely for a large part of their incoming leads and revenue on people reviewing and recommending their software through affiliate programs or referrals. There's just too many review sites out there that only give the best reviews to those hosting companies that pay the highest commissions, right? Or instead of those companies that provide the best service. And that's especially true in the inexpensive shared hosting world where most people are starting out, right? So if you asked me, there's only a few places to go to get, truthful and honest information about WordPress hosting. One is a yearly review by a guy named Kevin called Review Signal, and that rates WordPress hosts as far as speed and performance. And from there, if you do a little research on it, you can find other, recommended reviews or reputable reviews. However, if you want to listen to me, I only recommend services for my students from companies that I've actually used. I am aware of WordPress hosting companies that are excellent, and I might mention them, but the only companies that I use referral links and send my students to are ones that I've used myself. So with that said, if you're just starting out, go to SiteGround. Do yourself a favor and use a company that has a high priority on customer service and has a great deal for those just starting out, and you can grow with them as well. As far as starting programs, like I mentioned before, use don't start out with the startup unless you just need a super cheap single website, but use the Grow Big or the Go Geek plan for shared hosting. And then use the information that I provided here or that you can find out there for customizing that shared hosting program so that you're not also hosting email there and that your domain is also registered not at your website host, but at a dedicated domain registrar somewhere, like Namecheap or even GoDaddy for domain registration. Now, GoDaddy also provides shared and inexpensive website hosting, but if you look at the comments, there was a question from Raphael about, what about HostGator? What about GoDaddy for WordPress hosting? Those are two names that you'll really see a lot out there. And the reason for that is kind of that corrupt review system. So I wouldn't recommend either one of those companies, and I outlined that inside of the comments there. But, managed WordPress hosting is somewhere you might want to go if you want to step up from shared hosting. And, managed WordPress hosting is a set it and forget it type of system. Really highly recommend managed WordPress hosting from Flywheel or their parent company, WP Engine. They bought Flywheel last year or the year before. But Flywheel is a really super easy to use platform and an excellent managed WordPress hosting company. And I talked about it a couple of days ago. And WP Engine, I should mention, has just released, I honestly got an email this morning from WP Engine where they're getting a head start on the cyber, what is it called, Black Friday sale, time of year here in the United States, where you can get a special managed hosting set up for WooCommerce and eCommerce, which is something we're going to talk about today, for 20% off, which is quite a savings. So there's a link down there to WP Engine, highly recommended managed WordPress hosting. And then thirdly, GridPane. This is where I host most of my websites and client websites now. GridPane is a self-managed hosting program where it just, as you grow, if you're talking about hosting more than 10 WordPress websites, it's much more economical to start out to use a self-managed WordPress host and go and get your own server infrastructure, your own servers from separate companies and host websites so that you can really have transparency as far as what resources you're using. And so I'll go back to the iPad here as I share this back with you. I'm just going back through some of the notes that I took for you. I remember that talking about this hosting scenario, there's like I said, in shared, it's the least expensive and it's a great place to start out for reasons that I've gone over already. As far as managed hosting, you can fit 20 to 40 websites, server. At Flywheel, for example, you can pay $10 per month per site and have that completely managed for you in the background with no stress on your head as far as that. And when you're charging $10 per month per site, you think about, what do I charge per month per site? It's $100. And so there's a good profit and a good amount of markup there. And I give other services for that. I'm able to be in touch with my clients and give them hosting and website care plans. And then self-managed, you can put 20 to 40 sites on a VPS, a virtual private server that might cost $20 or $40. However, I mentioned this last time, and this is really what we're going to go into today as we expand our services that we can offer our clients. An e-commerce site should be on its own VPS server instead of stacking them and having kind of a pseudo shared environment that you are managing, where you have all of your own client sites on the same virtual private server. It's recommended that you put either an e-commerce site on its own server. And then as far as LMS, a learning management system where your users and visitors need to be logged in to be managing and looking at their content, that should be on its own server, as well as a membership site. Any kind of dynamically generated WordPress pages should be hosted with a little bit more resources at their disposal. So I talked about how I work out what my pricing is. Used to be $300 a year, and that's actually a good place to start. $25 a month is an okay markup when you're charging you're paying $10 a month on Flywheel. Say you're hosting at SiteGround and you're just starting out, you could get an unlimited number of websites, and of course, quote unquote unlimited at a shared host doesn't really mean that $3 or $10 a month for unlimited websites will take an unlimited number of websites. Eventually, you're probably going to run out of storage space there and resources. And so, in any case, now I charge $100 to $300 a month for WordPress websites. Now the $100, that's for more of a brochure site, and $300 more for a dynamic site, something like an e-commerce store. And so we went over kind of how the numbers could work yesterday as far as supporting, your clients, as far as hosting. As far as design, we went over 3 different systems. Just briefly, let me talk about, first of all, the WordPress ecosystem is merging a little bit as far as what design systems are available to you without having to delve into the CSS or create custom PHP templates or creating your own custom theme for WordPress. And in fact, the Gutenberg block editor that's in WordPress 5 and later is really a page builder in its own right. And when I say WordPress page builder, you may think of Divi or Elementor or Beaver Builder. There's other ones. Those are the big 3 as far as page builders go. But the block editor is a page builder. Now, it is behind if you compare it to what the page builders that were made to sit on top of WordPress have been able to do in the past 5 to 10 years. Divi, for example, puts a visual editor on top of WordPress that's super powerful. It's like having Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or XD, a visual user interface. Might use that as an editor to make designs and then submit that to the developer, who would then convert that design into the website itself. Well, Divi is an example of a page builder that kind of combines a UI designer with a developer, template creator, somebody who can make a custom theme. You're basically able to make a custom theme with Divi. and the other page builders are able to do that. But I think these days Divi has stepped as far as speed and performance in how fast that the visitors can open the sites, and the kinds of page speed scores you can get on Google Page Speed Insights, as well as GT metrics and Pingdom, places where you can judge and look at where your website speed could be improved. But in any case, there's a third system called Oxygen. These days, Oxygen is probably the number one choice for true developers or people who have an understanding of code, PHP language, and especially HTML and CSS. And so I just introduced the idea of Oxygen. If you've got a business where you have someone making either a custom UI design with something like Adobe XD or Figma or even Photoshop, and you want to duplicate that design in WordPress, Oxygen is probably your builder of choice. That is, unless you already know Divi really well or a similar system. And so that's what I do. I use Divi in my business. It's the easiest to use, I think, of these systems once it's learned. The block editor called Gutenberg can have some add-ons like Cadence with a K. I really recommend Cadence as far as a block platform. But the Gutenberg system, the block editor, is getting better and better each year. I should say each month. Next month, December of 2021, with WordPress 5.9, the block editor is getting the ability to have full site editing, or FSE as it's been referred to, if you see that around the internet. Full site editing is coming in WordPress 5.9. That doesn't mean that it's fleshed out enough to really be very usable. But what that means is that you can edit every part of the website with the block editor, which is a page builder, right? Not just the interior of the page, but the header. You can create custom headers using blocks, and you can create footers and sidebars, and you can use those as global elements. 2 days ago, we talked about some ways to make templates and global elements within Divi using the Divi theme builder, which really makes your design process easier and faster. And so as we move on, today, I would really love to talk to you guys about owning your own content platform. And with that, we're going to move into go a little bit deeper, deep and narrow into some business systems for WordPress. Not just design and pretty artwork and making themes and pretty websites, but actually providing functionality for customers in this way. I'm just looking at my notes. If you see me turning away and looking at my screen here, I'm going to share my screen to teach some of this stuff to you guys. But the things that we're going to go over today, WooCommerce is the most popular e-commerce plugin for WordPress, and there are lots of great other ones. I wouldn't say lots. There's a few great other ones. WooCommerce has the most functionality of any e-commerce plugin for WordPress. It has the most extensions and ways to make it functional. So we're going to talk about WooCommerce, a minimum viable setup for taking payments for your client websites or for your own websites, using either PayPal or Stripe. Of course, you can look up what other payment gateways are available to you if you're not in the United States. PayPal and Stripe works across the world in a lot of countries, but not all of them. And the global checkouts and landing pages and sales funnels is something that we'll talk about. I want to introduce a tool called WooFunnels to you guys, which has a free version for customizing the checkout for WooCommerce e-commerce, as well as providing extra functionality that WooCommerce doesn't provide yet, or won't provide, because this is a way to specifically control the checkout flow of a person's buying process, so that you can add functionality that's quite important these days. The functionality that I'm talking about adding are things like upsells within the checkout process and order bumps. Where you can have one-click upsells. Somebody adds something to their cart, they go to the checkout page, and when they're filling out their billing information, sitting right there is an offer. Hey, 20% off this product. Since you really liked that other product and it's already in your cart, I'll give you 20% off if you click here. And the customer can just add it to their cart right there during the checkout process. This is important and really popular for digital products, but it works very, very well for physical products as well, as far as e-commerce goes. But then with the checkout, more than 50% of shopping carts are abandoned online. And so WooFunnels makes it easy to provide automations to support abandoned carts, doing things like collecting the email address as a part of the checkout process. And then if the person navigates away from the page, that you've already captured their email address, and you can define a waiting period like 15 minutes after the cart has been abandoned, and send them a quick email to say, hey, we noticed you started buying, but then for whatever reason, maybe you lost your internet, or you left the checkout page. Would you like 20% off for coming back and completing your purchase? And so saving those abandoned carts is really important in today's e-commerce ecosystem. And so fulfillment, how do you set up, downloading a digital product, for example, or shipping a physical product within WooCommerce in WordPress? How do you set up, LMS or membership access? Anyway, lastly, I'd love to talk about automations and customer relationship management within WordPress. This is getting a little bit advanced, so I'm not going to go too deep here as far as how to do it, but I'm going to suggest that you look at owning your platform. Instead of using something like HubSpot or Salesforce, other companies that start at, say, 1,000 and up per month for managing customers and customer lists, there's very powerful systems that you can use within WordPress so that you own your own platform. Before we delve into my screen shares and go into some teaching for today, do you guys remember last week when Facebook went down for a whole day, as well as Instagram? There's many businesses that were up in arms about that, because businesses rely on that platform as far as sending ads and getting traffic to their sales pages and e-commerce websites through the Facebook platform. And lots of businesses after that happened were talking about how they had lost access to their customer list. If your customer list is a social following on a Facebook group or page, or if it's it's a group of followers on Instagram, when that goes down, or if they change the rules and take that access away from you, then you've lost it, right? So not only is it important to diversify, I'm not saying don't use Facebook and don't use Instagram. I'm saying diversify your lead generation and your communication with your leads, so that you have the ability to actually save your actual customer and leads list on your computer and own that content. So build your email list, control your own customer relationships through your own website. It's not hard these days. It's only a few years ago this wasn't very easy to do or very secure, unless you knew programming and could set it up yourself. These days, using a software called Autonami, which often is bundled with WooFunnels, it sits on top of your website, and it can do all the same things that Salesforce and HubSpot and other companies can do to control your customer contact list, your email list, and to be able to send out marketing emails and sales receipts and things like that directly through your website. So let's get into it here a little bit. Let me switch over to my screen. I've got the I still got the iPad open here. So let's go to the website, and the first thing I want to do is just introduce WooFunnels. I've got a link below the video here to WooFunnels so that you can check it out. But one of the things that WooFunnels allows you to do, like I was talking about before, if you have WooCommerce installed on your website, you're able to do things like this: a sales funnel. Okay, what's a sales funnel? You guys may have heard of ClickFunnels or lead pages. Companies like this provide a system whereby you can have your visitors and leads and potential customers come through a system where, okay, they're on your website, You've got a landing page potentially that you created with Divi maybe, right? A beautiful landing page like I showed you guys, on leveragewp.co. Landing pages are available with custom design layouts that you can use easily. And so the customer opts in, right? Or the potential customer, I should say. Then, so what happens is on your website, what you set up is, okay, when they opt in, I want to create a lead and I want to make them a subscriber to my email campaign. And once they do that, they click submit and then they go to a sales page. It might have a video at the top, again, created with Divi or whatever design program that's most comfortable for you. They go through that, the sales message, and then they click, oh, I do want to buy that. Check. And they click the submit or click the buy button. They go to a checkout page. They're, as I mentioned before, they're filling out their information. And as they do that, you add the system adds a tag to your CRM and it adds them as a customer, and then as I described just a moment ago, they go across to the upsell part of the checkout page. I know you've just purchased this one thing, but here's a related product. Most people, if they check out with that one product, they do want this next product, which would be an upsell. Okay, I'm just realizing right now you guys can't see my cursor, so hold on just a quick second. As I go in here, I think if I just check this box, you guys will be able to, there it is. Okay, you can see my cursor now. So at first I was circling this stuff and you guys couldn't see it. In any case, do you want 20% off the next product? Yes or no? But then yes or no, they go to a thank you page and then other things. Create a coupon for that person and offer it to them. Subscribe them to the follow-up campaign. And then these funnels, they can then go ahead and get that person in an email campaign where, you can send automated messages through your own website without relying on, a company like, I'm trying to find it, here we go, a company like Example. And I've talked about this, in my materials that I've emailed with you guys a little bit. Recently, I went from paying just under $100 a month to Mailchimp for an email list under 10,000 to go into a system on a client's website. It's actually my wife at wildfoodgirl.com. To being able to manage her client and customer list of just under 10,000 instead of just under $100 a month, paying about $5 a month for the same exact functionality, and in fact, more connectivity to the sales pages, the e-commerce setup. All the same automations are available, and by using the Autonami system, which comes with WooFunnels, we're able to go ahead and, sorry, I know I sound distracted right now. I just got a little message that the connection was slow, but I do think that it's come back now, and you can most likely see, yeah, I think we're doing well, so sorry about that. In any case, instead of using Mailchimp plus WooCommerce and a website for $100 a month, we're now paying more like $5 a month. We can email as many times as we want. We pay Amazon simple email service, Amazon AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, for sending group or broadcast emails out on behalf of the website. And by paying 1 penny per 1,000 emails sent, that's how we're really getting we're really $1 to $10 a month for the same service that Mailchimp was charging $100 a month for. Now that doesn't say, that's not to say that I don't think that Mailchimp isn't a great option. In fact, Mailchimp's an excellent option when you're first starting out. I would recommend Mailchimp for free up to the point that you have 2,000 contacts. You get the entire set of suite of services up to 2,000 contacts for free. So that's an easy place to start out. And it's not that hard to migrate your customer list or your leads list from Mailchimp into a system like Autonami and WooFunnels here. I've showed how to do this on some of my YouTube videos at Leverage WordPress, and so you can learn about that. In fact, the story with Wild Food Girl is that we imported this 8850. What happened with Wild Food Girl is that we were on Mailchimp. We have an opt-in form at Wild Food Girl. If I just take a look at the website, the homepage, scroll to the bottom, wildfoodgirl.com. Here's the opt-in page. Now, this used to be a Mailchimp opt-in page where they would fill out their name and email, and they would get a PDF of a couple of issues of Erica's magazine, the Wild Edible Notebook. And, she gets between 5 and 10 subscribers a day, and you can imagine that after a while, she was exceeding the 2,000 contact pricing limit on the free plan. And what happens is they don't just throw away your contacts. What happens is that you're just not allowed to email them once your number goes higher than 2,000. You can export them to yourself and save the file, but you can't email. So what happened was a couple different times we got to over 2,000 and then said, oh my gosh, okay, well, let's just export the 3,500 people onto an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file, save it on the computer, and then start from zero again, back to 0 contacts. Okay, great. So then it climbs back up to 2,000. Anyway, on this Autonami WooFunnels dashboard page here at wildfoodgirl.com, you could see that we've now got 8,829 contacts. So several times we let Mailchimp go above 2,000. We then were unable to email the list, and then we started from 0. Well, that wasn't really sustainable. And instead of taking on $100 a month for between 5 and 10,000 contacts at Mailchimp, we decided to use this in-house system and own our platform. And so that's how I'm able to show and to really have experience with paying less than $5 a month for that same functionality. Side note, in an incredible coincidence this morning, you may have received an email today through the Mailchimp system at WP Dev course, the Udemy course. I've been using Mailchimp for years, the paid service, and I haven't migrated it over to leveragewp.co to get out of it. But I pay Mailchimp something like $90 a month for the Udemy course and wpdevcourse.com email list, which you're probably on. In any case, I wanted to open up Mailchimp this morning about 9 a.m. my time and compose and send a couple of emails out to different segments of the list, whether you were signed up for this event or not. Wanted to give you a different message. And for about 2 hours this morning, Mailchimp was down. I was unable to log in. And so, hand goes to forehead. Slap. Oh my God. Why don't I own my own email list and keep it on my own platform? Here I am, just a few hours before the event, and I am unable to send to the list. Of course, you can imagine it was resolved. Eventually, you were able to get your email reminders with links and everything, but it just goes to show you, you should both diversify your business onto different platforms, as well as take control of your own email list. Even if you do have your email list at Mailchimp or another service, periodically take a CSV export and save that list on your computer, because you never know, you're not in control of that server. They could lose your contacts. And so at WooFunnels, you got great analytics. You've got rule-based and targeted one-click upsells, things like that, like I demonstrated inside of the funnels. Conversion optimized checkout pages. Now, this is something where I'm going to show you, go a little deeper inside of the Wild Food Girl website and just show you how you might create custom designs using starting points like pre-designed layouts to customize the checkout. Right now, WooCommerce is not very customizable if you're not into making your own code or CSS changes. But a tool like WooFunnels allows you to customize the checkout and the opt-in and sales pages using free pre-designed templates as starting points, or even starting from scratch using tools like Divi or Oxygen, or even the block editor. And so that's WooFunnels. If we look at wildfoodgirl.com, let's just take a look at, you can see that we have WooCommerce installed, and also WooFunnels installed, and Autonami. Autonami is the CRM that replaces something like HubSpot or Salesforce to be able to control and host your contacts and all of your automations, email broadcasts, forms for people for opt-ins, and templates for sales pages and checkout forms and things like that, all within your website. It's here, own your own content. And you can buy this. You can actually get it for free. It's a freemium product. WooFunnels is a free plugin on the WordPress.org repository, which means you can install and use it with most of its functionality for free within your WordPress self-hosted website, as long as you have WooCommerce installed. You get optimized checkout pages, one-click upsells, etc. On top of that, Autonami is animations. It's got a follow-up engine, meaning it can send out rule-based email automations. It's a lightweight CRM. It does not slow down your website in the very least, but it is a complete solution. And so I have a link below that gives you the best price, a discounted price for students of mine for Autonami, but you're really not looking at a huge amount. These amounts of money are not per month. This is per year. And periodically they may have a lifetime discount, but I would recommend getting the whole package at a discount that would be discounted amount forever. And so that's what WooFunnels and Autonami can offer. But let's take a look real quick as we go in. Let's see. Here I was in the funnels area. If I wanted to add a new funnel, and I wanted to say, so this is a funnel for people that when they opt in to the footer. This is just going to be a sample one, where once I have that funnel created, I just have a title. I'm not going to really save or use this in this live website, but you could start from scratch and start building. Or you could look at what are some of my options here. And so if you choose your page builder, you can use Elementor, and Elementor is a free page builder. It's also got the freemium model. I do believe that Divi is a much better system, and so is Oxygen. But if I look at Divi, now WooFunnels has designed a whole bunch of sales funnels within Divi, and so if I wanted to make a sales funnel or an opt-in funnel, opt-in just means there's no, that doesn't point you to a purchase. It basically points you to getting some free information in exchange for your email address, and so if I just choose one of these, these are two-step funnels you can see down here. I can go ahead and preview it or import it. Let's preview this. Take a look, because I don't really need to import it here. But if I preview it, it has an opt-in page and it has a confirmation. So, it's got these beautifully designed, Divi-based things. That's it's a button. There's opt-in information to talk to people about why they would want to opt in for this. It's, of course, doesn't have to be about this topic, but you can customize it using your favorite tool, which might be with Divi. Also, mobile responsive, just like Divi works, as you found 2 days ago. And then the opt-in confirmation page. Your ebook has been sent. So this one would be an example of give their email address in exchange for a PDF document, which could be an ebook that you create, and fulfillment basically free. The system will send them their automatic email, their automatic ebook via email, and then you can offer them to join the Facebook group, etc., on the confirmation or thank you page. And so let me just shut that. If we look, there's many different designs to start from. These are just the ones for Divi. I know that WooFunnels is coming out with Gutenberg block editor designs just like these, so that you don't actually need to use a page builder to make beautiful landing pages, sales pages, and opt-in funnels like this. Okay, and so let me shut out of this. You can have a default page builder, obviously, but if I go to funnels once again, and let's go ahead and open up this one right here, and let's view it. I just wanted to show you the funnel. Let's see. Oh, that's just a view of it, like a preview. If I wanted to edit it, if I wanted to edit the funnel, what I've got is like a design page here. And so here's what the design looks like. You can change it all like that using whichever editor you want to. What does the form do? It collects first name, last name, and email. You can, customize this opt-in. Is it an inline form? The one at Wild Food Girl is. Inline means it's just on the contents of the page. This one happens to sit at the footer of every single page of the website. And then this is what's really exciting. You can have actions, and you can map out funnels. Just like I showed you at that WooFunnels page. You can have notifications. You can connect it to your CRM, whether that is Autonami or not. You can connect it to an LMS, where if they join, then they get to be a member of a course or something like that. And you can map this whole opt-in funnel. Now you can do the same thing with sales funnels. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of that. And then Autonami, like I said, I'm not going to go too deep. If I start to delve in here a little bit too deep, I think, that I'll reveal some of the private information here, like customers and followers' email addresses and things like that. So I'm not going to go too deep in there. But I would highly recommend using WooFunnels and Autonami to own your own content system. And so let's go into WooCommerce just real quickly before we wrap it up today, and let you know what might be the next steps in order for you to keep learning from me in this realm and along these lines. I'm going to be diving deeply into this very soon, and offer a class which is coming up next week. And so the extension store, WooCommerce, like I said, it's the most popular e-commerce platform in the world, not just on WordPress, but across the internet. And if you need something like subscriptions, for example, if I were to show you, you've seen this before 2 classes ago, but here's an example of my Stripe account, and some of these are monthly and some of these are annual payments, but by using WooCommerce along with the WooCommerce Subscriptions add-on, I'm able to just take a single order online and have that be a repeating order for recurring monthly or recurring annual income through my website. And I could show you my little, why don't I show you my, using the WooCommerce subscription. There's all kinds of categories here, but some of the most popular WooCommerce extensions are things for taking payments, customizing your business, your e-store, WooCommerce shipping. Maybe you need to take bookings for a client website for a massage place or a hairdresser and a nail salon, a dentist, I don't know, something like that. WooCommerce Subscriptions is the one that I use. It's an excellent add-on. It it connects to WooCommerce, and so that means it connects to a ton of different WordPress plugins and functionality and themes, so that you can have recurring monthly revenue, or at least recurring revenue in your business. If I go to, let's see, updraft.media, this is just, my wife's and I payment collection website. There's nothing much here really. This describes who we are and what we do. But if you go to the shop page, the only thing that's here are really open to the public consultations that I offer to folks for an hourly rate, and you can contact me. But what I do is I'll take I'll give a custom link to a product, which might be my hosting and website care plan, my website fee for thousands, and then they just go here and create an account and check out using WooCommerce with the WooCommerce Subscriptions extension, and I'm able to provide payments and recurring payments. Just today, this morning before I started, I was pleasantly surprised. One of my annual payments from a website client that I've had for quite a long time came in, and it was great. I didn't have to do anything, and in fact, the system had provided a method whereby the first credit card payment, the automatic payment, had failed. And I think the reason was that the credit card was expired, the credit card that Stripe had on file. And so my website notified me, and it notified my customer that the payment had failed and they needed to go in and update their credit card payment. Now, I can customize all those messages. This automated message was a note from me that said, "Hey, so-and-so, I see that your payment for your annual website hosting and website care had just failed. So you need to go in and update your credit card number. Your website's still up, and I'm still giving you these monitoring and update services. I've just recently updated the WordPress version and all your plugins that are functional on your website. There's been no downtime, and I would appreciate it if you would go and update your credit card." Well, the next day, which was today, that payment came through, and tomorrow or this afternoon, that cash will be in my bank account. And so you can imagine that if you have 50 clients that are on a system like that, I can have deposits going into my bank account while I'm sleeping, instead of having to remember to create an invoice and send it, ask the customer to send a check and mail it, or do something outside of the website. Now that I have all my clients set up on recurring payments in the background using Stripe, WooCommerce, Autonami as a content management system, etc., everything is automated. And by setting this up in advance, I've been able to go ahead and really get that going. And so I'd love to show you guys, as we wrap up today's class. I'm going to be giving more of these classes, so keep your eyes open. Cool things are coming up. And so as I share my screen again, you may have imagined that, looking at a Leverage WordPress Masterclass, a 3-day masterclass like this, you may imagine that I might have an offer for you, and I do. I have a kind of an all-inclusive deep dive course coming up. It's the Leverage WordPress for online business course. This is something where, in taking this course, we're going to take all the pieces of information that we've learned from, the first day talking about WordPress hosting options, the different options, and the idea that if you take control of your hosting, you can offer that to your clients at a good markup, as well as offer website care and maintenance, as well as automated emails that go out to them to remind them that this is the work that I'm doing for you in the background. Every single month, week to week, I go in and update WordPress. I keep your website running fast. I monitor it for uptime. You know, all those automated messages and automating your whole hosting and website care. You know, secondly, we're going to dive deep into Divi especially, but also into Cadence, the WordPress block editor, among other systems like block patterns, where you can take pre-designed layouts just like Divi has and bring them into the WordPress block editor completely for free, so that you can design quickly. You know, we're going to learn, you know, why and when you should use each tool, how to use pre-designed layouts in each of these systems, including Oxygen, and global elements like you learned in the Divi section 2 days ago in part 2 of 3. We're going to really dive deep into WooCommerce and WooFunnels. You know, the minimum payment gateway setup, like I indicated, through Stripe, PayPal, and then other expanded options. You know, setting up and customizing the checkouts. You know, so I really didn't want to spend much time on this. Oh, and even down below here, the Autonami CRM allows us, you know, outgoing emails using Amazon AWS or similar instead of a service like Mailchimp, which can save you a lot of money. Safe email marketing, the GDPR, those rules for spam in the United States and in Europe. Making sure that you're responding to those bounce and complaints with notifications and systems that work, so that you don't accidentally get yourself on a blacklist or something like that. You know, opt-in forms like I talked about today, outgoing emails. How do you set up for a customer to automatically get a download that you prevent the public from getting that, you know, in exchange for an email or a purchase? Trigger links and automations from different actions. You know, you can send an outgoing email to a customer and say, hey, out of these 3 choices, which would you prefer? For example, would you prefer to learn about WordPress hosting? Or would you rather learn about design systems? Or would you rather learn about e-commerce and landing pages and sales funnels? Click one or more, and you'll only hear from me about those. So you can automate that whole system. Those are called trigger links. Whoops. Where inside of inside of the email, if a customer clicks one or more of those links, you can set it up so that Autonami marks their contact inside of your system. And then later, when you send out automated emails, you can only send to the people that want to hear from you about that topic. It's a really powerful way to create better relationships with your clients and your prospects. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that you should be looking for an email and some information from me. Let me there, did that work? I think the light got a little bit better. I think the sun came out actually outside and changed the exposure on the camera here. But I'm super excited to offer you starting in 2 days, on my birthday, October 23rd, I will be sending out an email to invite you to take a look at what this course is going to be about. It'll be starting at the end of October. Friday, October 29th, we'll be starting with a live and pre-recorded day on Friday, October 29th. And then 4 Fridays in a row, we'll be getting together where you can be on calls with me and ask questions, and we can discuss all these concepts. And I'm going to be diving deep into each of these concepts to teach you guys to really master all this stuff. For one, if you're going to be, selling this as a product for your website clients, you can see that with all this stuff, at your fingertips, this is where you can sell a project for $3,000, $5,000, or $10,000 as a flat fee for a project, along with a $100 to $300 a month monthly fee for that. Or maybe you want to delve into mastering all of this stuff for your own business, which is what I've done both of those things, right? As you know, I manage about 50 client websites in this way, as well as use these systems in my own business to provide website teaching and digital marketing lessons and courses. And so this is going to be an all-inclusive course with lifetime access and Q&A and access to me, along with a few good bonuses, which will really, really make it a no-brainer for you to come on board and join me on this journey. I really hope that you do. And so I really appreciate you guys. I hope I covered a lot of what you guys had responded via email and the comments section about. Please, if you've got any questions as far as stuff I've covered today or in the previous 2 lessons, I would appreciate hearing about it in the comments section. You can actually email me directly if you like, greg@wpdevcourse.com. We'll see if that blows up in my face. I wonder if that email box is going to blow up a little bit too big. We'll see about that, because one of the things that I'm working on offering is a portal whereby you can access me directly. You can apply to talk to me. You could send me written messages with questions that I'll reply to directly, and or an FAQ section where, as you know, gosh, on the Udemy course, if you've been there in the Q&A or taken a look, I guess it doesn't show how many questions, but I've answered somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 questions in the Udemy Q&A about creating your own business using WordPress. And so I'm setting up to own my own platform in that way at leveragewp.co. As well as, I also offer up, you'll see in one of my comment answers at wpwebsite.cloud. That is a network where you can create an account to build your own WordPress websites and have them just hosted there. First, it's a sandbox, like the Udemy WordPress sandbox, the wpdevcourse.com sandbox that you probably have used as a student of mine. This wpwebsite.cloud is a place where you can go in, and there's already many, many pre-built Divi-based website layouts. I'm building more and more Cadence and block editor layouts there for you to click one button to have a complete 5 or 6 or 8 page website ready to go, so that you can have your own portfolio of multiple websites ready for you to show potential clients. Or it's a place where you can use it as a sandbox to create your own custom designs using the tools that I teach and Divi without even having to buy it. And then you could even keep that and have me host it for you if you want by just clicking a button and pointing your domain name there. Or finally, you can actually export those designs, take that for free, and go and as long as you own Divi and the tools that are there, you can host that yourself wherever you like, whether you're hosted at SiteGround, hosted at Flywheel Managed, or WP Engine WooCommerce hosting, or even at GridPane. And so again, I appreciate you guys for being here. Please, email or use the comments form below to ask me your questions. Keep in mind, look at leveragewp.co in the next couple of days on this masterclass page, as well as on the homepage of Leverage WP, and look for an email from me. I'll be inviting you to check out what's available as far as the class and the course coming up in the next week. I'm excited to see you guys there.